No brains, like, no brains at all. Literally no brains. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Frogs Hollow TV. My name's Toby Cooper, and yes, we are back where it all started at Frogs Hollow in Warriata, Wheelie. It's been nearly 3 years since our last show together. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. It's good to be back here, looking at number 62, and I'm actually glad you come home, Toad. It's a good thing. Not being rude, mate. End of the day, you'll be working for me, and at the end of the day, and let's go racing and let's have a bit of fun.
And almost a career best result at Warriata, 62 has been treating you all right, but bloody throttle cables.
Yeah, throttle cable, we have to do something about that. Yeah, put a big one in it, because otherwise I would have finished, really
You're
well.
Going for a top 5 finish.
I was going for a top 5, but it never quite come off. But at the end of the day, mate, we lined up a Valley House, and I blew off the line the first time, and when I blew off the line the second time, I was in third gear instead of first, and she got me.
Gotcha.
But anyhow, that's racing, and me and her had a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about.
It is. It's what we all do it for. Firstly, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Hoppy from up there in Harvey Bay. Yeah. I gave him a ring, 7-8 weeks ago, before we obviously made the tough decision to move back to Warriata, but he was a valuable part of Frogs Hollow TV. He's always part of it, and we've got big plans towards the end of the year and definitely next 2025 to have him a part of the show, so thanks, mate. So on to tonight's show, we'll review the Three Springs 400 in WA, which was last month, the last round of the Queensland Championship up there at Mount Larcom, and last weekend's Burrungule 180 down there in South Australia. Plus also look ahead to next weekend's big one, the Kalgoorlie Desert Race, the AORC Decider, and also hear from WA Expert Russ Cullen, who we got back on the show tonight. Good old Russo.
Yeah, old Russo, and not being rude, Tobe, you're going to Kalgoorlie, you and your father, and I'm not going. I can't make it this year. Got a few things going on work-wise, but mate, you'll have a good time, and you'll talk what you talk, and you can talk the talk. That's all I've got to say.
There we go. So once again, Wheelie, I've been blown away. I know you have too, and honoured by the amazing support from our Frogs Hollow TV partners for 2024. So once again, we'd like to give a huge thank you to the following companies and teams for joining us on another episode of Frogs Hollow TV.
I could have.
Incredible wheelie, great support, and massive support of the show like Hoppy and I've talked about, and it's a pleasure to have guys like Comiskey, Cougar Racing, the Chapmans, Racer Imports, Michael Marson, Paddy Garrity.
You can't get any better than what has been thrown at the show. Like I said to you, it's been a while since I've been here, and I cannot believe that. I don't know how you pull this together, mate. The biggest thing is that all the people we race against, some of them, and they're just top people, and thank you guys, and without yous wouldn't be here.
So now all we've got to do is just keep the show going for years to come.
Yeah, well, that's the plan.
Also to our amazing contributors who supplied footage for this episode, including Rough Road Media, courtesy of Over at Racing, to Troy Shewan, Adam Truwalla, David Luffman, Richie Tazan, Lehman Motorsport Photography, Brendan Forsman, Front Row Screens from Kalgoorlie last year, Mel Brandle and Russ Cullen for making this show again one not to miss. Footage is incredible, and it just keeps getting better and better, and I've had no one in. Well, I've had no one in the last 4 or 5 years from doing this show that have said no to giving us some footage, and that's what it's all about.
And obviously, it did
you don't
right,
see
mate. No one's ever said no. And the thing about it is that people ring you, text you, email. Like, Toby, end of the day, I'm only the talker. You're the man behind the scenes, and yeah, no, mate, you are. Yeah, I still can't believe what you do.
So now straight into our first event review, the 2024 Three Springs 400, hosted by WA over there in beautiful WA, another one of them bucket list events. We're actually lucky enough to have Russ Cullen give us his insight from that weekend coming up. You'll see that very soon. But yeah, man, the track looks ideal, beautiful conditions. They have a spectator point called the Cliffs, so you sort of sit up 3 different parts of the track and watch them come through. I mean, through the gorge and rocky bits, sandy bits, mud flats around lakes. They've got a 10k run down along the shores of the Yarra Yarra Lake. So I've got everything. One of those events, 75k loop. But once again, it was a Can-Am Maverick of Andrew Bell, the X3 that
which I
took the outright win.
Yeah, I still cannot believe
that's the second Can-Am that's won around in WA this year.
And I still cannot believe how the Can-Ams have gone from where they are, Polaris, and we've talked about it hundreds of times, but
they're winning races.
They are winning. They're actually winning outrights now. They're not actually coming 10th, 20th. They're actually winning.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And he finished third in class at Kalgoorlie last year, so he's got the pedigree, and he went out there about 3 weekends ago and got the win, and incredible. One of the event organisers, Mark Kramer, who does a lot for WA Offroad, Fuel Burner Racing. I know he's the team owner of the one Adam Trawalla's in. He finished second, around 50 seconds behind. And Chris Unstead finished a further 4 minutes back in third outright in his first outing in 5 years in a Can-Am Maverick R. So that's pretty cool. First race back, third outright. That's wheeling.
It's a man that's on a mission and a man that doesn't care.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Good to see.
Another Can-Am R, Matty Deck finished in 4th, and Keith Rance rounded out the Three Springs 400 top 5. Notable mentions, the 2-time defending champ Adam Trawalla, one of our supporters of the show. He was leading comfortably around 2 minutes Sunday morning and broke a front hub. So it hasn't been Adam's year, but hopefully he might be able to turn that around at Kalgoorlie next weekend.
He'll turn that around. Like, don't write him off. Like, he is a very smart man, and
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. They're not stupid.
And it'll be a special result for me, obviously being there to see him have that top 5, top 6 finish. Obviously he's late. His father Craig, we had a bit to do. Craig.
Yeah, we did.
Well, 62 probably wouldn't be where it is without.
No, well, believe it or not, 62 is still running the engine that he gave me. Sent over to me, stock standard, and I haven't touched it since he gave it to me. And I take my hat off, mate. I love yous all over there, and thank you very, very much.
And also Troy and Deb Sherwin, the brother and sister combination, they experienced electrical issues on day 1, but dominated both sections on Sunday to finish in 8th. And also Michael Davis, CJ Green, Aaron Cassidy, Glenn Taylor and Jason Stone class wins. Now onto the recent Farm and Garden Mount Larcom short course, the 9th and final round of the Queensland ARB Mickey Thompson Off-Road Racing Championship, hosted by the Gympie Auto Sports Club. It was a quality 32 car field that hit the track up there in central Queensland last weekend. And Christian Trews, he was one of my roughies with Hoppy in the last show, Class 8 Patrol. We've seen him race before.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's his second win of the year. Dalby, which is a tough race, and Mount Larcom, which looked just as tricky, and he's won another event. Incredible.
And I haven't raced them events yet, and I like to see it, but I'll tell you what.
That's pushing, Patrol.
It's pushing for a class.
It's a 10k short course event.
That's pushing, mate.
That's incredible. I mean, everyone says that he's one of the class acts. He was in the top, so I think he finished 9th or 10th at Gundawindi with a drama.
Yep.
He had like sort of top 6, top 8 pace all weekend there, and hats off to Christian Trews. And finishing the 9 10k laps with a 53-second advantage. Very impressive. Tony Patterson crossed behind Trues in second for another podium for 2024. Impressive year he's had in his Polaris Pro R, and we saw Simon and Jackson Evans and what they've done with the Pro Rs in 2024. It was just an incredible piece of machinery.
You just can't. I got no words, mate.
You couldn't keep up with it more and Burrungule.
Yeah.
Tyler Human in the team's Toyota 2JZ Fusion Trophy truck added to his Dalby podium earlier in the year to finish 15 seconds behind Patterson. That was Hoppy's prediction, young Tyler, doing great things, and he's got his dad's truck and maybe a bit of less fear there and just holding it down.
Yeah, I agree there. He's still a bit less fear, but he's doing well, and let's hope bigger things in the future.
Yeah, I reckon he's definitely got that potential. I think they might be going ARB next year, but stay tuned. Drew Callender and Jason Sate rounded out the Mount Larcom top 5. In championship news, John Cry and Wessel Peters claimed a maiden Queensland Championship crown. 4 top 10 finishes wheelie in 2024 out of 6 starts. Pretty impressive for those guys. Best of a 4th place at the Dam Buster 250 in May. A proud moment for Jan, who's won championships over there in South Africa in his V8 powered bat spec car. But he's turned up here in Queensland and finished the last round in 10th position. Ended up 35 points ahead of Drew Callender and David Luffman in 3rd. And great, it's always great to win a championship. You've won a couple.
I've won many, and I'm not afraid to say that. You won't to be where I was in Class 2, and then to have them do what they're doing, they'd be like me, over the moon. And
you just know the feeling.
The feeling is when they call your name up. I mean, even though you don't know, no one tells you. You go to a presentation and then all of a sudden call your name up and you go, oh, what?
Yeah, I know. Just a little accolade.
Yeah, no.
In other Mount Larcom news, one of our good friends and the supporter of the show, Stewie Chapman, he was leading the race on Saturday night and had a broken oil line to the turbo, which caused a little engine fire. Which is a bit of bad luck. And Richie Tazen, who was my pick at Mount Larcom, unfortunately clipped a tree at the start-finish line early on Sunday, and he did have quite a large rollover, which, great to see Richie was okay. I think the car was a bit second-hand there, but I'm sure he'll...
Oh, he was second-hand. I'd probably reckon third-hand.
Yeah, he had a big off, and he'll just said run out of talent, but obviously he's okay, and he walked away, which is the main thing. David Luffman, Jason Keane, John Cry, Colin Gavin and Ross Newman were the other class winners up there at Mount Larcom, so congratulations. And now on to our final review of this week's episode, the Whedon Pastoral Burrungule 180, which was held last Saturday down there in beautiful South Australia, just west of Mount Gambier, hosted by the Limestone Coast Offroad Club. They had about 35 starters, 180 Ks in one day. Get in, do your race and get out. I reckon it's a perfect format, especially for little club state events. They get the crowds. There's a lot of off-roaders around that sort of bottom South Australia, edge of Victoria, and they've all come out and had a great day.
And yeah, you're right, Toby. Like, at the end of the day, you want to see cars coming past you, like every couple of minutes, you know what I mean? Like, and it is a hats off to them down there.
The hardest part for our sport.
It is. It's the hardest part for our sport.
That's why these live streams are so good, because it's getting it out there.
Exactly right. The live streams are good. Like, not being silly, there's a couple of really good events in New South Wales, South Australia, Queensland, like Warrior's one of them as far as spectating.
Yeah.
You won't beat it, mate.
I agree. It was another victory for Toddy Lehman and Aaron Heemskirk in their Jimco, 3.5 litre twin turboed. He finished on top by about 4 minutes. That's his second win of the year after claiming the win down there at the Day-Nighter.
You can have your Day-Nighters. The night race, I know they love them down there, but the night race is not fun.
Yeah, but hats off to Toddy Lehman, dominant performance, and he'll be definitely a key contender for the ARB Australian Championship in 2025. Completing the 12 15k laps in second position was a V8 Razorback Charger, Glenn Pike, who's had a pretty good season there in that V8 powered machine.
Yep.
And also recent Rainbow Risers champion David and Matty Hall. They claimed 3rd spot, 3 minutes adrift in their Class 1. And also a shout out to Brendan Payne and the first of the Class 10s, Jacob Douglas, who rounded out the Burrungule 180 top 5 on the weekend. Aidan Campagnolo and major sponsor Heath Whedon, Corey Hayworth and Robert Gusenhoven were other class winners on the weekend, so congratulations. Now there's some news around the ground wheelie, but interesting stuff brought to us. Shout out to one of our partners, Brett Comiskey. He finished 12th outright, second in class at the last weekend's California 300 over there in the States in 45-degree heat, I believe. A couple of flat tyres, a broken limit strap held him back a bit, but they reckon it was a brutal track. 90% rocks. He finished the whole 400-mile race in Barstow in 6 hours. So he just loves it, doesn't he?
He loves it, but I don't know if every off-road person has ever met Brett like I have. Sure, he's in hundreds of times, but you won't beat. He loves every state, but he loves overseas as well.
What I love about Brett is he does that.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Loves that, but then he'll come back and do all
yes,
the
I agree.
Queensland, he's done all of it.
But it doesn't matter if it's a big race or a small race.
Shares the love.
He shares the love, and the thing about it is he's not a bloke that actually stands up. You're going to have a yarn to him, shake his hand, he'll talk to you all day. It doesn't worry him. That's the sort of bloke he is. I like him in here.
Also, entries have opened for the 2024 Gen Y Hitch Mac 1000 at St George the first week of December. I hope they get lots of entries. I'm actually out there going to call the race that weekend, but God, it's going to be a warm one out there, isn't it? First weekend of December.
Yeah, well, 62's not going to okay, just so you
Go
know.
and have a look. Unfortunately, this weekend's Nabiac Airport Challenge has been cancelled due to wet weather. Shame to the Latimores and Sout and the boys over there. Just put in tireless amount of work, and unfortunately, too wet. So the final round in New South Wales will now be at Dongdinglong, the 9th to 10th of November, so we might slip over the range for that one.
Oh, I think we might just bring 62 out and we just go for a little run, and I've got to keep the boys honest.
Got to keep them going.
Right, you got to keep them up there.
Also, final round entries for the MA Queensland Championship have opened. That's in a couple of weeks at Lockyer Valley Enduro, so keep an eye for that. And also, good luck, which is coming up to some of our Aussies, and Toby Price, Paul Wheel, Luke and Bull at Osage Motorsport. They're doing the Baja 1000, Derek, in a Class 11 Volkswagen Beetle. You got any words for that?
I actually haven't, because I don't mean to rude, but
reckon about
what an effort, but what an idiot. Yeah. Like, all jokes aside, if you can finish that
in a Beetle.
1800
Ks.
I've got no
Anyway, we'll say, that's sort of about a month's time, so we'll keep you up to date.
We'll keep up to date with that one.
Now to our event previews for the show. Next weekend, we've mentioned it. It is the 2024 Black Diamond Drilling Kalgoorlie Desert Race over there in the west, the Gold City. Final rounds of both the 2024 West Australia and Australian Off-Road Racing Championship. It's just going to be an epic. 4-time Cal champion, 2024 Fink Desert Race champion, Bo Robinson. For me, will be the clear favourite in his Mason Trophy truck.
He's
going to be angry because he needs the finish. He needs a win or second. There's no other way around it. He had an issue at Charters Towers, and the guy that's leading the championship, Mel Brandle, in the Illumicraft, the Pro Light, is in great form. He won the event at Charters Towers up there about 6 weeks ago, and it's going to be on. There's 216 points between them, 900 points on the line. Those two are the clear standouts for the championship. But if something does happen to them, which we hope it doesn't, there's a few Can-Ams, there's James Cook that can sneak a Australian title, but it's between, for me, Bo and
I'd like to actually just see him, no breakdowns, no nothing,
go out for it.
Just fight for it.
It's going to be on.
It's just going to be Bo's got the mongrel about him. You've got to remember, he's got the mongrel about him. But this...
Don't worry, Mel's a tough character.
Yeah, you just took the words out of my mouth.
He's been in the top 10 at every ORC race. He's had 2 top 5s. He's had a win. I've actually looked into this. I've worked it out. You know what I'm like.
I know.
There's actually 2 ways there could be a tie in the Australian Championship over Kalgoorlie.
The thing about it is, you were dead right. If
it is a tie, I think it'll come back to Bo because it goes on number of outright wins.
Correct.
Blah, blah. So basically, putting it out there, Bo for me needs the win the event, and then needs Mel to sort of be a bit further back in the standings, which for a Pro Light 7-litre trophy truck, it all plays in Bo's hand. But 216 points, and the pressure is on Bo for me.
The pressure's on Bo and his team, and
but they love pressure.
I've known Bo and the crew and the whole family for years and years and years, and you know what? If Bo can get it, good on him. But I tell you what, Mel will be chasing. And I'll tell you something right now.
That car is...
If Bo looks up and sees Mel coming,
She's on.
He knows he's going to have to go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Push the throttle a bit harder, but I don't know if it'll go through the floor.
It's going to be on. Defending cow champ and Australian champion Travis Robinson will return to WA for the first time in history with the number 1 plate on the car. There was a bit of a rumour that Trav was not running Kalgoorlie, but he has entered. He is on the entry list, so I expect him to be there. Loveday 400 winner Boston Morgan Horan, the young Kiwi, will be there in the twin turbo Geyser. He was 4th at Millicent, 1 Loveday, so I expect him to be right up there. I don't know if he'll have the desert pace as maybe Robinson's and Lights, but we'll have to wait and see. But he's a genuine champion. Also, the 2021 cow champion Nick Hicks, shout out to him going over there to the west. Fink podium. See, the James Cook will be one to watch for me in his 7-litre Get performance car. I mean, he was a second at Pooncarie, a third at Fink after a couple of rolls. He's a two-time defending side-by-side Australian champion, first time in Kalgoorlie in a big car. I mean, he's got to be one of the favourites, and I think he'll just be hammered down, and he wants victories. He's not out there to come second. He doesn't want to finish third. He's a winner.
He's a winner.
I think James Cook, if everything falls his way, I think James Cook could definitely stand atop at Kalgoorlie.
Yeah, James could do the same thing, but just remember, you got Travis.
Yeah.
You got Travis there, and Travis.
But then you got also Derek, the two-time WA champ Adam Truella, who's
I'd love to see Adam
have a big result.
I'd like to see Adam right up there, because like I said, that family I owe the world to, and I really do think, I hope, fingers crossed, that he actually gets a top finish, and that'll make my day now, and then I'm actually going to ring him and actually have a yarn, and we'll go from there.
And obviously Troy Shewan, Troy Higgins, Dylan Nolis, the local president, Dean Terry and Jared Percival, all WA chances in Kalgoorlie. Nick Commons, I reckon, will be one to watch in his Brenthal. I think he could do big things. He was in top 10 last year at Cal, but definitely one to watch. And also Andrew, his brother, and the West Lime Geyser. Ryan Prince, Stephen Kettridge Hall, others to keep an eye on. Really, there's 50 side-by-side competitors, extraordinary field, many serious WA and interstate chances, but for me, James Mogford, who leads the Australian Championship, will definitely be one of the clear front runners, but watch out for Glenn Brinkman and especially Glenn Ackroyd.
Glenn.
Those three are fighting for the Australian title. It's going to go down to the wire. If James Mogford has a clean run, I think it'll be very hard to beat. He's got a bit of a lead.
But I tell you what, if something goes wrong, Glenn will be there.
They both deserve it.
Yeah, mate,
you've raced against Glennie.
I have. I've raced against him, and I'll tell you something right now. They all deserve it, but at the end of the day, it'll come down to the wire. And I wish I was going over with you, mate, but I'm not. But I tell you what,
both championships down the line.
I agree.
A few locals to watch out for on the side-by-side. Arena, Andrew Bell, Matty Deck, Roy Skill, Friday Boyce, Dave Bush and Cole Reid will be thereabouts at the weekend end, I'm sure. Now we'd like to welcome our WA expert Russ Cullen onto tonight's show for a quick recap of the last month's Three Springs and a little insight on the next weekend's Kalgoorlie Desert Race.
Cheers, Russ.
Hi viewers, Russ here, your West Australian correspondent. Thanks for tuning in. Recently in the West here, we had the Three Springs off-road race, which was a fantastic event, dominated by a Can-Am in Andy Bell. Well done to Andy. Mark Kramer deserved second, and a fairy tale third place for Chris Unstead, making a welcome return. There were a lot of quick guys early on. Adam Truella, again, is in career best form at the moment, but had a mechanical issue. Troy Shewan was super quick. Keithy Rance was quick, though they did have problems, and their results showed that. David Rowett went out early. Derek De Bruin in his Viper buggy went out early. With issues, mechanical issues. The top 10 was a fantastic group of people. Notably, CJ Green gets his first top 10 placing in his 10 car. Mickey Davis, a nice top 10 finish for him. Aaron Cassidy, punching well above his weight in the Class 8, made it into the top 10. And it was just generally an awesome race. I think everybody enjoyed the track, enjoyed the pristine conditions we had laid onto us by Mother Nature. Again, now our focus turns to Kalgoorlie, our national round over here in the West. And what a star-studded field we've got at this event. We've got the Robinson boys, Bo and Trav, looking to do well on home ground. They'll be challenged by the likes of Keithy Rance, Troy Shewan, Adam Truella, all the better for their hit out at Three Springs. Brad Close starting to show some form in the Jimco Hammerhead, so it'll be interesting to see if Brad can continue his good form. He's doing quite well at the moment. Good to see him doing well. You'll have locals, Dean Terry, Dylan Nolis, etc. They'll be in the mix. Might be a bit rusty. They haven't done a lot of racing this year, so could take them a while to ease into their work. There's been a couple of notable scratchings, one of them being Brett Comiskey. Doesn't look like he's going to make it to the event. He's chasing an engine at the moment, or engine parts. Class 4 is going to be absolutely riveting. You got the Commons boys, you got the Kiwi Raider in Boston, you've got Bo Robinson. That is just going to be mouth-watering to watch the Class 4 guys. Pro Buggy, amazing field in Pro Buggy. Gary Povard debuting a new car. Jordan Bull debuting a Jimco champion, a big thumping Jimco champion, ex-Buddy Crow car. So that's just going to be awesome to watch that field. And literally every class is packed full of talent. You got Shippo coming from South Australia in the Class 5, and the Matty Beck will be challenging him. The Class 5s will battle it out. Terry Hoskins, Matty Beck, and Shippo. I mean, what a trifecta of talent there. And a litany of Class 6s, like awesome side-by-sides, super quick side-by-sides. So we just can't wait. It's going to be a really, really good shindig, and look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks, Russ. Great insights, mate. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. About a week's time, mate, we can go out for a snitty and a couple of you-know-what, and have good times in the West. Now, a quick mention of the Avalon Short Course held this Saturday down in Geelong in Victoria. About 25 cars nominated. That'll be a fun little event. We'll catch you up to date with that in the next show. Yep. And also a huge shout out to all those competing at round 2 of the Northern Territory titles, the last race up there in Alice Springs for the year. That's the same weekend as Kalgoorlie, so next weekend. Held over 2 days. The event will be spearheaded by last month's long course winner and Northern Territory titles round 1 victor, Jacob Booth in the Porter. So young Jacob, definitely the one watched there. So really, that's a wrap. First time back, nearly 3 years, mate, since we sat here in the little Ponderosa at Frogs Hollow, looking at 62 and a few other things. But not much has changed here, I must admit.
No, we're going to the buggy there, and we've got my brother at the back, and not being rude, Wicky's he's coming going to go.
Yeah.
He's impressive to watch. That's all I got to say.
He's going to have to make this driver push a bit harder, I think.
He started to scare me a little bit, but anyhow.
Good luck to those competing at Avalon and Alice Springs over the next couple of weekends, and also I'll see all those heading to Kalgoorlie next weekend. Can't wait for the AORC Decider. It's going to be a ripper, but more importantly, stay tuned for the next episode of Frogs Hollow TV. Cheerio.
Cheerio.